Captain June Park looked at the blinking red light on his dashboard. His small cargo ship shook as it moved through the atmosphere of planet Seren. He was not supposed to be here. No humans were. This was enemy territory. Emergency signal detected, said the ship's computer. Life form in danger. 2 miles east, June rubbed his tired eyes. He had been flying for 20 hours straight, trying to avoid Seren patrol ships. His mission was simple: deliver medical supplies to the human outpost on the moon of Callus, then return to Earth base. No stops, no detours, especially not on Seren. Computer, identify life form, he said. Seren female. Vital signs weak, June sighed. The Serens were the enemies of humans. For 10 years, the two species had fought over territory and resources. Thousands had died on both sides. June had lost his brother in the war. We should keep going, he told himself. It's not our problem. But something made him turn the ship toward the signal. Maybe it was because he was a medic before becoming a pilot. Maybe it was because he was tired of the killing. Or maybe he just couldn't ignore someone in trouble, even if they were the enemy. He landed the ship in a small clearing surrounded by tall purple trees. The air on Seren was safe to breathe, but the jungle was full of dangers. June grabbed his medical kit, a gun, and a locator device. Computer, keep the engines running. If I'm not back in 2 hours, take off and return to base. The jungle was hot and humid. Strange sounds came from all directions as June followed the emergency signal. Twice he had to hide from large predators with sharp teeth and glowing eyes. After 20 minutes of walking, he found the source of the signal. A small Seren ship had crashed into the trees. It was smoking, but not on fire. June approached slowly, his gun ready. The door of the ship was open. Inside, a serene female lay on the floor, blood pooling around her. Serenes looked almost human except for their silver-blue skin and large almond-shaped eyes that could see in the dark. This one wore the elaborate clothes of high rank. Her long hair was braided with gold threads and jewels adorned her neck and arms. She was clearly important. And she was dying. When she saw June, her eyes widened in fear. She tried to reach for a weapon, but she was too weak. I'm not here to hurt you, June said, putting his gun down to show his good intentions. I'm a medic. I can help. The Seren woman stared at him with suspicion, then looked at her wound. A piece of metal from the crash had cut deep into her side. Without help, she would die. Why would a human help me? She asked in a weak voice, speaking the common space language. Because you need help, June said simply. He opened his medical kit and began to work. The wound was bad. June cleaned it, applied medicine to stop the bleeding, and sealed it with a special bandage that would help it heal. The Seren woman watched him the whole time, her expression changing from fear to confusion. My name is June Park, he said as he worked. I'm a cargo pilot. After a moment of silence, she replied, I am Hana, matriarch of House Dai. June almost dropped his tools. House Dai was one of the 12 noble houses that ruled Seren. This wasn't just any Seren, she was royalty, a leader of their people. What happened? He asked. My enemies tried to kill me, Hana said. I support peace talks with humans. Not everyone agrees. June was about to respond when a loud roar came from the jungle. They both froze. Jungle cats, Hana whispered. They hunt in groups. They can smell blood. June looked around. The small ship was damaged beyond repair. They couldn't stay here, and Hana couldn't walk far with her injury. My ship is 20 minutes away. Can you move if I help you? Hana nodded, though pain showed on her face. June helped her stand, letting her lean on him. They had just left the crashed ship when the first jungle cat appeared. It was huge, with purple-black fur and 6 legs, each ending in sharp claws. Run, Hana said weakly. June didn't run. Instead, he fired his gun into the air. The loud noise scared the cat, and it retreated into the trees. But June knew it would return with friends. They moved as fast as they could through the jungle. Hana grew heavier against him as her strength faded. Twice more, June had to scare away the hunting cats. His gun had only a few shots left. Leave me, Hana said. Save yourself. Not going to happen, June replied. He could see his ship now, just 100 yards away. That's when the biggest cat yet jumped out in front of them. It growled, showing teeth like knives. June raised his gun, but the cat was too quick. It knocked the weapon from his hand and prepared to pounce. June stood in front of Hana, facing the beast with nothing but a small knife from his medical kit. He was sure he was going to die, but he wouldn't let the cat get to Hana. The cat leaped. June braced himself for pain. A bright blue light flashed, and the cat fell to the ground dead. June turned to see Hana holding a small weapon. Her arm shook with the effort. "You were willing to die for me," she said in wonder. "I couldn't just let it kill you after all the work I did patching you up," June joked, trying to hide how scared he had been. They made it to the ship just as more cats appeared at the edge of the clearing. June helped Hana inside and closed the door. Soon they were airborne, safe from the dangers below. June gave Hana water and more medicine for the pain. He was about to ask her where he should take her when his ship's alarm sounded. 3 Seren ships approaching, the computer announced. "They have weapons ready." June looked at Hana. "Friends of yours, I hope?" "My house guard. They have been searching for me." Hana tried to stand but was too weak. "Let me speak to them before they attack you." June opened a communication channel. A stern Seren face appeared on the screen. The guard captain looked shocked to see Hana alive and even more shocked to see her with a human. "Matriarch, are you a prisoner? We will destroy the human ship immediately." "No!" Hana shouted. "This human saved my life twice. He is under my protection." The guard captain looked confused. "But Matriarch, he is the enemy. He risked his life for mine," Hana interrupted. "According to our most sacred laws, I owe him a life debt." The words seemed to have a powerful effect. The guard captain's face paled and he bowed his head. "As you command, Matriarch. We will escort you both to safety." June looked at Hana. "What's a life debt?" Hana's eyes were serious as she answered. "The highest obligation in our culture. When someone saves your life at risk of their own, you owe them a debt that must be repaid no matter the cost." She paused. "You saved me knowing I was your enemy. That makes the debt even greater." June didn't know what to say. He had just wanted to help someone in trouble. He hadn't thought about debts or obligations. Hana took his hand in hers. Her skin felt cool against his. "I will repay this debt, June Park of Earth. When the time comes, you will understand what your mercy has earned you." June nodded, not knowing that in 6 months, his life would change forever because of what happened in the jungle that day. Not knowing that the woman he saved would give him a gift beyond price. Her 3 brave daughters, the finest warriors of House Day, sworn to protect him with their lives. But that was still to come. For now, June was just glad they had both survived. As the Seren ships escorted them to neutral space, he looked at Hana and wondered if perhaps there was hope for peace after all. 6 months had passed since June Park rescued Matriarch Hana of House Day. He had returned to his regular duties as a cargo pilot, though he often thought about that strange day in the jungle. Earth Command had given him a medal for making peaceful contact with a high-ranking Seren, but they also warned him to stay away from Seren territory. The war had only gotten worse. Today, June was not flying cargo. He had been ordered to attend a diplomatic meeting on the neutral space station Harmony. Representatives from both humans and Serens would be there, trying once again to stop the fighting. June didn't understand why they wanted him there. He was just a pilot, not a diplomat. "You made a personal connection with Matriarch Hana," his commander had explained. "That makes you valuable." The meeting room on Harmony was large and circular. Humans sat on one side, Serens on the other. June fidgeted in his uncomfortable formal uniform, as diplomats from both sides made speeches about peace while accusing the other side of not wanting it. After 2 hours of talk that went nowhere, the doors at the back of the room opened. Everyone turned to look. Matriarch Hana entered, walking slowly but proudly. Her wound had healed, and she looked strong and regal in her formal clothes. 4 guards followed her, their hands on their weapons. June straightened in his chair. Hana's eyes found his immediately, and she gave him a small nod. "Matriarch Hana," said the lead human diplomat. "We were not expecting you." "I come with important news," Hana announced. Her voice was clear and strong. "I wish to announce before all present that I, Matriarch of House Day, owe a life debt to the human June Park." Whispers broke out on both sides of the room. June felt his face grow hot as everyone stared at him. 6 months ago, Hana continued, "this man risked his life to save mine when I was wounded and hunted on my own planet. According to our most sacred laws, such a debt must be repaid." One of the Seren diplomats stood up. "Matriarch, with respect, this is hardly the time." "It is exactly the time," Hana interrupted. "For too long, our people have seen each other only as enemies. This human saw me as a person in need, not as an enemy to be left to die. I intend to honor my debt in a way that may help both our peoples." She turned to face June directly. "Captain June Park, I hereby pledge to you the service of my 3 daughters, Sue, Mina, and G. They are the finest warriors of House Day, trained in all forms of combat and protection. They will serve as your guardians until the debt is paid in full, or until their lives end in your service. The room erupted in chaos. Humans and Sirens alike shouted objections. The lead human diplomat tried to restore order while the Siren representatives argued among themselves. June sat in shock. He hadn't expected this. He didn't want servants or bodyguards, especially not the daughters of such an important person. Hana waited for the noise to die down before speaking again. My decision is final. The life debt is our highest law, more binding than any treaty or alliance. My daughters will travel to Earth immediately to begin their service. After the announcement, the meeting was ended early. June was taken to a private room where his commander and 2 other high-ranking officials waited for him. Do you understand what just happened, Park? His commander asked. June shook his head. Not really, sir. I don't need bodyguards. This isn't about what you need, said one of the officials, a woman with short gray hair. Matriarch Hana just gave us an incredible opportunity. Her daughters are not just any Sarens. They're part of the ruling family. They'll have access to information, technology, and insights we've never had before. You want me to spy on them? June asked, frowning. We want you to accept this gift graciously, the commander said, and to help us learn what we can from it. You're being reassigned to special diplomatic missions. The daughters of House Day will accompany you. But this isn't a request, Captain, the gray-haired woman said firmly. This is an order. Later that day, June was allowed to meet with Matriarch Hana in another private room. She smiled when she saw him. You look troubled, Captain Park, she said. I am troubled, June admitted. I didn't save you to create a debt. I don't want to take your daughters away from you. Hana's expression softened. My daughters are strong and skilled. They have trained all their lives to serve our house, and they have volunteered for this duty. June doubted that. Really? They volunteered to serve an enemy? They volunteered to honor their mother's life debt, Hana corrected. And perhaps to learn about humans from someone who showed compassion to a Siren. She stepped closer to him. There is more to this than just honor. June Park. The war benefits no one except those who profit from weapons and death. My house has long sought peace, but we need allies on both sides. My daughters will protect you, yes, but they will also be a bridge between our peoples. June understood then. This was not just about a debt. It was politics. Hana was using the life debt as a way to form a connection with humans that other Sarens couldn't openly oppose, without disrespecting their own traditions. When will I meet them? He asked. Now, Hana replied and touched a device on her wrist. The door opened and 3 Siren women entered. They were clearly sisters, with the same silver-blue skin and high cheekbones as their mother. But each looked distinctly different. The tallest one stood in front, her posture perfect, her face showing no emotion. Her hair was cut short, practical for combat. She wore a form-fitting uniform with several weapons visible on her belt. The second sister was slightly shorter, with alert eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. Her hair was tied back in a simple style. She looked curious rather than hostile. The youngest sister stood slightly apart from the others. Her long hair was decorated with small metallic beads that made soft sounds when she moved. She looked directly at June with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. Captain June Park, Hana said formally, I present my daughters, Sue, Mina, and G of House Day. From this day forward, they are sworn to your service until the life debt is paid. The 3 sisters bowed in unison. None of them looked happy about it. Sue is my eldest, Hana continued. She is a master tactician and has enhanced strength due to special training. Mina, my middle daughter, excels in stealth and intelligence gathering. And G, my youngest, has been blessed with rare psionic abilities. June looked at the 3 Siren women, not knowing what to say. Finally, he bowed back to them. I'm honored, he said, though he wasn't sure if that was true. But I want you to know that I don't see you as servants. I didn't save your mother to gain anything. We know why you saved her, said Sue, the eldest, speaking for the first time. Her voice was cold. Because humans cannot help but interfere in matters that don't concern them. Sue, Hana warned. It's fine, June said. I understand this is strange for all of us. I hope we can at least be... He paused, not sure if friends was the right word. Our respectful colleagues. We will protect you with our lives, Sue said. That is our duty. Nothing more. The middle sister, Mina, gave June a small smile. Please forgive my sister's bluntness. This is new for us too. The youngest G still said nothing. She just stared at June with those intense eyes. Hana placed a hand on June's shoulder. They will learn to trust you as I did. Give them time. After Hana left, June was told that he and the three sisters would depart for his ship the next morning. His first mission would be to deliver important documents to 3 human outposts near Seren space. Simple enough, except that pirates often attacked ships in that area. That night, as June tried to sleep in his temporary quarters on Harmony Station, he wondered what he had gotten himself into. 3 serene warriors were now bound to him by their culture's strongest oath. Earth Command wanted him to use them as sources of information. The Serens probably had their own agenda, and somewhere out there, Hana's political enemies were surely planning how to deal with her daughter's unprecedented assignment to a human. June's simple life as a cargo pilot was over. Tomorrow he would begin a journey with 3 alien women who were raised to hate humans but sworn to protect one. He wondered if any of them would survive what was to come. June's ship, the Wanderer, felt smaller than ever with 3 Seren women on board. It was a cargo vessel designed for 1 or 2 crew members, not 4. Especially not when 3 of them seemed to be avoiding the 4th. 1 week had passed since they left Harmony Station. Sue, the eldest sister, spoke to June only when necessary, giving short answers to his questions. She spent most of her time in the small training area June had set up, practicing combat moves that looked both beautiful and deadly. Mina, the middle sister, was slightly more friendly. She asked questions about the ship and human technology. She seemed to disappear for hours at a time, only to reappear silently, startling June. Her ability to move without making a sound was amazing and a little scary. G, the youngest, was the strangest of all. She rarely spoke, but June often caught her staring at him. Sometimes objects near her would move slightly as if pushed by an invisible hand. Once, when June accidentally cut his finger while preparing food, G had looked at the cut with intense focus, and the bleeding had stopped immediately. They were now heading to the first outpost, a small research station orbiting a moon called Ilara. The mission was simple: deliver sealed documents from Earth Command, then continue to the next outpost. June sat in the pilot's chair, checking their course. He felt someone behind him and turned to see Mina. "We are being followed," she said quietly. June checked the radar. "I don't see anything." "Trust me," Mina insisted. 3 ships hiding in the radiation field behind the asteroid belt. They have been there for at least 2 hours. June frowned. Seren senses were known to be better than human ones. If Mina said they were being followed, they probably were. "Pirates?" he asked. "Or assassins," Sue said, entering the cockpit. "Our mother has many enemies who would love to see us dead. And you as well, human." "My name is June," he reminded her. "Not human." Sue ignored this. "Change course. Head for the gas giant. We can lose them in the storms." June hesitated. Sue might be right. But going through the gas giant's storms was dangerous. They could lose the followers, but they might also damage the ship. "We have a mission to complete," he said. "If we go through the storms, we'll be delayed." "Better delayed than dead," Sue replied coldly. Before June could respond, alarms blared. The radar screen lit up with 3 fast-moving objects heading straight for them. "They're coming," Mina said unnecessarily. June grabbed the controls. "Everyone secure yourselves. This might get rough." He pushed the Wanderer to full speed, heading away from their pursuers. But the other ships were faster, clearly built for combat rather than cargo. "They will catch us in approximately 6 minutes," Sue calculated. "We need to fight." "This is a cargo ship, not a warship," June said. "Our weapons are defensive, not offensive." "Then we will have to be creative," Sue replied. For the first time, June saw a hint of a smile on her face. She seemed almost excited by the challenge. The first shot from the enemy ships hit their shields, making the whole ship shake. "Gee," Sue called out. "We need you." The youngest sister appeared in the doorway, her eyes already glowing with an eerie blue light. "Can you sense them?" Sue asked her. G closed her eyes for a moment, then nodded. 3 ships. 12 beings. Not pirates. Too disciplined. Mercenaries. Another shot hit them, stronger this time. The shields were holding, but not for long. "I have an idea," June said. "But it's risky." Sue looked at him with newfound respect. "We're listening. If we can't outrun them or outfight them, we trick them," June explained. "There's a small moon ahead with heavy magnetic fields. If we skim the surface and release our spare cargo containers, The magnetic fields will make them look like escape pods on their sensors. They'll think we're abandoning ship, Mina said, catching on quickly. And they'll slow down to capture what they think are fleeing crew members, June continued. That gives us time to circle around and jump to hyperspace behind them. Sue considered this. It could work, but the magnetic fields will disable our shields temporarily. Everything in life is a risk, June said. This is our best chance. To his surprise, Sue nodded in agreement. Do it. June flew toward the small moon, a barren rock with no atmosphere but powerful magnetic storms caused by its unusual metal core. As they got closer, the ship's systems began to flicker. Releasing cargo containers, June announced, hitting a series of controls. 5 empty metal boxes flew out from the cargo bay, drifting toward the moon's surface. As expected, the pursuing ships slowed their approach, breaking formation to investigate the containers. Now, June shouted, pulling the ship up sharply and burning the engines at full power. The Wanderer shot away from the moon, circling behind their attackers. They've realized the trick, Mina reported, watching the sensors. They're turning to follow. Too late, June said with satisfaction as he activated the hyperdrive. The stars stretched into lines as they jumped away, leaving their pursuers far behind. The sisters looked at June with new eyes. Sue gave him a curt nod, which from her seemed like high praise. Mina smiled openly. G just stared, but there was something like approval in her gaze. Later, after they had safely reached the research outpost and delivered the first set of documents, June found Sue in the small kitchen area of the ship. Good flying today, she said without looking at him. You are not as incompetent as I expected, June laughed. Thank you, I think. My mother was right about one thing, Sue continued. You do not panic in danger. That is useful. I was a medic before I was a pilot, June explained. In emergency situations, panic kills. I learned to stay calm. Sue finally looked at him. Why did you become a pilot? The question surprised him. It was the first personal thing she had asked. My brother died in the early days of the war, June said quietly. He was a pilot. I took his place. Something shifted in Sue's expression. I lost 2 brothers in the war as well. For a moment they stood in silence, sharing the unexpected connection of similar loss. The moment was broken when alarms sounded again. What now? June muttered, rushing back to the cockpit. Mina was already there, looking at the sensors. The outpost is sending a distress signal, she said. And there's a ship approaching them. The same energy signature as one of our pursuers. June's heart sank. They followed us here. We led them straight to the outpost. The research station was small, with minimal defenses and a crew of only 20 scientists. If the mercenaries attacked, the scientists wouldn't stand a chance. We should leave immediately, Sue said. Our mission is to deliver the documents, which we have done. June looked at her in disbelief. We can't just abandon them. Those scientists are innocent. It is not our concern, Sue insisted. Our duty is to protect you, not to fight others' battles. Then protect me while I help them, June said firmly. Because I'm going with or without you. Sue's face hardened. You are being foolish. There is no honor in dying for strangers. There's no honor in letting innocent people die when you could help, June countered. He looked at the 3 sisters. I'm not ordering you to come with me. I'm asking. Those people need help, just like your mother needed help 6 months ago. Sue looked away, but Mina stepped forward. I will go with you, she said. G moved to stand beside her sister. Me too, Sue sighed in frustration. This is against my better judgment, she said. But I will not let my sisters face danger alone. Or you, she added reluctantly. June nodded gratefully. Thank you. I have a plan. The plan was simple but dangerous. While June docked the Wanderer at the research station to evacuate the scientists, the 3 sisters would use the station's maintenance pods to approach the mercenary ship undetected. Sue would lead a direct assault to disable their weapons, while Mina would infiltrate the ship to sabotage their engines. G would stay in a pod, using her psionic abilities to distract and confuse the mercenaries. As June helped the frightened scientists board his ship, he worried about the sisters. They were risking their lives to help people they didn't know, because he had asked them to. Suddenly, there was a massive explosion. The mercenary ship's main gun had been destroyed. Minutes later, June received a transmission from Sue. Ship disabled. Returning to station. When the sisters returned, they were different. There was a new energy between them, a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Sue had a cut on her face but seemed almost happy. Mina was grinning openly. Even G seemed more relaxed. You did it, June said as they boarded the Wanderer. We did it, Sue corrected him. Your plan worked. As they left the station with the rescued scientists, heading for the safety of a larger human outpost, June noticed the sisters sitting together, talking quietly. For the first time, they seemed like a team, not just three individuals forced together by duty. Later, when the scientists were safely delivered and the Wanderer was back on its original course, Sue found June in the cockpit. Those mercenaries, she said. They weren't ordinary pirates. We found this on their ship. She handed him a small device with a symbol etched on it. What is it? June asked. The mark of the Vex, Sue replied. A species known for causing conflict between others for their own gain. They've been mentioned in our intelligence reports for years, but this is the first direct evidence I've seen of their involvement in the Human-Syrian War. June studied the device. Why would they want our war to continue? That is what we need to find out, Sue said. But it seems, June Park, that we have a common enemy. 2 months had passed since the battle at the research station. The Wanderer had completed its original mission of delivering documents to the 3 outposts. But instead of returning to Earth as planned, June and the 3 sisters had been given a new assignment: investigate the Vex connection to the Human-Syrian War. Earth Command was skeptical about the Vex involvement at first, but after similar reports came in from other sources, they had to take it seriously. The sisters had contacted their mother, Matriarch Hana, who confirmed that Seren intelligence had also found signs of Vex manipulation. Now the Wanderer was docked at Harmony Station again. June sat in a small meeting room with Sue, Mina, and G. On the table between them was a holographic map showing known Vex sightings. They're always near conflict zones, Sue observed, pointing to several red dots on the map, but never directly involved. Like vultures circling dying animals, Mina added. But what do they gain from our war? June wondered. What's their motive? G, who rarely spoke, surprised them all by answering. Resources. When we fight each other, we don't notice them taking what they want. The others looked at her. G's psionic abilities sometimes gave her insights that others missed. Can you sense anything about them? Sue asked her sister. G closed her eyes. They are hollow, empty inside. They need something from us, something we have that they lost. Before anyone could ask what she meant, the door opened. 2 officials entered. Admiral Lee from Earth Command and Counselor Tay from Seren. Both looked grim. We have a problem, Admiral Lee said without preamble. Someone has leaked information about your investigation. Both our governments are facing accusations of conspiracy and treason, for even suggesting cooperation. Hardliners on both sides are calling for your immediate recall, Counselor Tay added. Looking at the sisters, they're saying House Day has betrayed Seren by working too closely with humans. Sue stood up straight. We serve the life debt as honor demands. There is no betrayal in that. Logic doesn't matter to those who profit from hatred, the counselor replied sadly. Your mother is facing serious political challenges. There's talk of removing House Day from the ruling council. June felt a stab of guilt. These women had been sent to protect him, but now their family was in danger because of it. What about the Vex evidence? He asked. Surely that changes things. Admiral Lee shook his head. Without concrete proof that the Vex are actively causing the war, not just benefiting from it, we can't convince the hardliners. Then we need to find that proof, June said firmly. That's why we're here, the Admiral said. We have intelligence on a possible Vex outpost in the neutral zone. It's disguised as an abandoned mining facility. We need someone to investigate, but we can't send official forces without causing an incident. You want us to go, Sue stated. You're already working together, Counselor Tay pointed out. A human and 3 Serans. You're the perfect team for this mission. It's strictly voluntary, the Admiral added, and completely deniable. If you're caught, both governments will claim you went rogue. June looked at the sisters. Despite their rocky start, they had become a real team over the past months. Sue now treated him with respect, even occasional warmth. Mina openly considered him a friend. And G, though still mysterious, had saved his life twice with her psionic powers. I'll go, June said, but only if they choose to come with me. I won't order them to risk their lives, Sue answered without hesitation. The life debt requires us to protect you. We will go where you go. That's not good enough, June insisted. I want you to choose, not just obey. This isn't about the dead anymore, Mina smiled. I choose to go. The Vex are a threat to both our peoples, and besides, someone needs to keep you out of trouble. G simply nodded, which from her was enough. 2 days later, the Wanderer approached the coordinates of the supposed Vex outpost. From a distance, it did look like an abandoned mining facility, a collection of domes and towers built into the side of a small rocky moon. No lights, no signs of activity. Sensors show minimal power readings, June reported from the cockpit. If anyone's there, they're keeping a low profile. Or they have technology that hides from our sensors, Sue suggested. She had become the unofficial security chief of their small team. We should assume they know we're here. Then we shouldn't waste time, Mina said. She was checking her stealth gear. Of the 3 sisters, she was the most skilled at infiltration. I'll go in first, scout the area. No, June and Sue said simultaneously, then looked at each other in surprise. We stay together, June continued. We don't know what we're dealing with, Sue nodded in agreement. For once, the human is right. They landed the Wanderer some distance from the facility and approached on foot, using the rocky terrain for cover. She suddenly stopped, putting a hand to her head. There are mines inside, she whispered. Not human. Not Seren, different, cold and hungry. How many? Sue asked. Many, G replied, looking troubled. But also, 1. They are many, but they think as one. June felt a chill. The Vex were still largely unknown, their biology and culture a mystery. Some reports suggested they were hive-minded. They reached the facility without incident, finding an airlock that Mina easily bypassed with her technical skills. Inside, the corridors were dim, lit only by emergency lighting. The air was stale but breathable. It looks abandoned, Mina whispered, running a scanner over the walls. But these power conduits are active. Something's using energy. They followed the active conduits deeper into the facility. G walked with her eyes half closed, using her abilities to sense any presence ahead of them. Sue kept her weapon ready, checking each corner before they advanced. June and Mina examined the technology they passed, looking for evidence. Finally, they reached a sealed door. Unlike the others, this one had full power. Whatever they're hiding, it's in there, Mina said. Gee, can you sense anything? Sue asked. The youngest sister placed her hand on the door, then pulled back as if burned. Pain, she gasped. So much pain. They're harvesting something. Mina worked quickly to bypass the door's security. When it slid open, they all froze in horror at what they saw. The large chamber beyond was filled with transparent tubes, each containing a being suspended in liquid. Some were humans, some were Sirens. All were connected to machines that pulsed with energy. What is this? June whispered, horrified. A voice answered from the shadows. This is necessity. A figure stepped forward. It looked almost human, but wrong somehow. Its skin was gray and seemed to shift like liquid metal. Its eyes were black pools without whites or pupils. The Vex need what your species have, it continued in a flat voice. The energy of emotion. The spark of creativity. The fire of life. We lost these things long ago when we chose to evolve beyond individual consciousness. You're draining them, Sue said, her weapon aimed at the creature. Like batteries. A crude analogy, but accurate, the Vex replied. War creates strong emotions. Hatred, fear, determination. All potent sources of the energy we require. You've been keeping our war going, June realized. Manipulating both sides. For generations, the Vex confirmed without shame. We placed our agents in key positions in both governments. We created incidents to spark hatred when peace seemed possible. We funded weapons development, all to ensure the conflict continued. You're monsters, Mina spat. We are survivors, the Vex corrected. And now you 4 will join our collection. Especially you. It pointed at G. Your psionic energy will sustain us for years. Guards appeared from hidden doors, weapons ready. They looked like the Vex leader, but were clearly less evolved, more drone-like. Run, Sue shouted, firing at the nearest guards. Get back to the ship! Chaos erupted. Sue charged forward, her enhanced strength allowing her to knock down several guards at once. Mina vanished into the shadows, reappearing behind enemies to disable them. She used her powers to push guards away, but June could see the effort was draining her. We need to free these people, June shouted, pointing to the tubes. No time. Sue called back. More are coming. She was right. Alarms were blaring and the sound of many footsteps echoed from the corridors. Gee, can you get a message to the Wanderer? June asked. Tell it to start the engines. The ship had an automated system that could be activated remotely. If they could reach it before being captured, they might escape. G nodded, her eyes glowing as she sent the telepathic command. They fought their way back toward the entrance, but the Vex were everywhere. One caught Mina by surprise, its weapon slicing into her arm. She cried out in pain. Mina! Sue rushed to her sister, putting herself between Mina and the attacking Vex. The enemy weapon fired again, hitting Sue directly in the chest. Time seemed to slow down. June saw Sue fall, her body crumpling to the ground. Mina screamed. G's eyes blazed with blue fire as she unleashed her full psionic power, sending Vex guards flying in all directions. June ran to Sue, pulling her into his arms. Blood soaked her uniform, bright silver blue against the dark fabric. Get them out. Sue whispered to him, her voice fading. My sisters, save them. I'm not leaving you, June insisted, tears in his eyes. When had this proud, difficult woman become so important to him? Sue's hand touched his face gently. The debt must be paid, she said. Then softer still, I would have protected you even without it. Her eyes closed. June felt her body go limp. News of Sue's death spread quickly through both human and Seren leadership. The evidence June, Mina, and G had gathered about the Vex conspiracy was compelling. Recordings of the facility, sensor data showing the energy harvesting, and most damning of all, the Vex leader's own confession, captured on Mina's recording device. But compelling wasn't the same as convincing. Many leaders on both sides refused to believe that their decade-long war had been manipulated by an outside force. Some claimed the evidence was fake. Others acknowledged the Vex involvement, but insisted that the original reasons for the war were still valid. 2 weeks after their return to Harmony Station, June sat in a small garden area, staring at the stars through the transparent dome. Sue's ring hung from a chain around his neck. He couldn't bear to put it away, not yet. Mina found him there. Her arm was healing well, though she would always carry a scar from the Vex weapon. The Saren Council has voted, she said, sitting beside him. They're rejecting the peace proposal again. June sighed. Earth Command is doing the same. They've ordered us back to Earth. They say the life-debt experiment has run its course. Mina's face hardened. Sue died for nothing, then? I refuse to believe that, June said fiercely. We have the truth. We just need to make people see it. How? The leaders won't listen. The public doesn't know. June looked at her. Then we tell them. All of them. Both species. The plan they developed was dangerous and probably treasonous. But with Sue's sacrifice still fresh in their minds, neither June nor the sisters cared about the consequences. They would hijack the communication systems of both the human and Seren fleets during the upcoming battle at Seren Prime, broadcasting their evidence to every ship, station, and planet in both systems. Let the ordinary people, the soldiers, citizens, and families torn apart by the war, see the truth that their leaders were hiding. The key to their plan was G's psionic abilities. Though still recovering from the Vex encounter, she was the only one who could project her mind into the communication networks and create an opening for their broadcast. They needed one more thing: access to the communication hub at Seren Prime. And for that, they needed help from the most powerful person they knew. Mother will see us as traitors, Mina warned as they sent the encrypted message to Matriarch Hana. By Seren law, we are. We're revealing military secrets, interfering in government matters. She sent you with me because she wants peace, June reminded her. She'll understand what we're doing. 3 days later, they had their answer. A small Seren ship docked with the Wanderer in deep space, far from prying eyes. Matriarch Hana herself emerged, her face lined with new wrinkles, her eyes filled with grief. She embraced her daughters first, holding them tightly. Then, to June's surprise, she embraced him too. Sue always completed her missions, Hana said, her voice tight with emotion. Even this one. She protected you as the life debt demanded. She did more than that, June said. She saved us all. And she discovered the truth, Hana nodded. A truth my government refuses to accept. The war is too profitable for some, too politically useful for others. Even with proof of Vex manipulation, they cling to their hatred. Will you help us? Mina asked. We need access to the communication hub on Seren Prime. Hana's expression was grave. What you're planning is treason. If you succeed, House Day will likely lose its place on the ruling council. If you fail, you'll be executed. All of you. And if we do nothing, the war continues. Ji said quietly. More people die. The Vex win. Hana looked at her youngest daughter with pride. You sound like Sue. She turned to June. You saved my life once, Captain Park. I gave you my daughters to repay that debt. I lost Sue because of it. Do not ask me to risk losing Mina and Ji as well. I'm not asking you to risk them, June replied. I'm asking you to help them finish what their sister started. What you started when you sent them with me. Hana was silent for a long moment. Then she reached into her robes and pulled out a data crystal. This contains access codes to the communication hub. It also has my personal authorization as matriarch. It won't stop the guards from trying to kill you, but it might make some of them hesitate. June took the crystal, his hand shaking slightly. Thank you. Don't thank me, Hana said bitterly. I'm sending my remaining daughters into terrible danger. If they die too, their blood will be on both our hands. As Hana prepared to leave, she spoke privately with her daughters. June gave them space, checking the Wanderer's systems for the journey ahead. When the sisters returned, their expressions were solemn but determined. Our mother has officially released us from the life debt, Mina told June. She says Sue's sacrifice has paid it in full. June felt a strange emptiness at her words. So, you're free to return home. We're free to choose, Mina corrected. And we choose to finish this. Not for the debt, for Sue, for our people. For yours too, Ji nodded in agreement. Sue believed in you. We do too. The Battle of Seren Prime was the largest engagement of the war to date. 200 human ships against 300 Seren vessels, all fighting for control of the planet and its valuable resources. The perfect backdrop for their desperate plan. The Wanderer approached the planet from the dark side, using a special stealth system Mina had installed. Serene ships patrolled the area, but they were focused on the human fleet, not watching for threats from behind. June piloted the ship to the coordinates Hana had provided, a small, heavily guarded facility built into the side of a mountain. The communication hub was the nerve center of the Seren military network, connecting their ships, bases, and government. Ready? June asked, looking at Mina and Ji. Mina checked her weapons. As ready as we'll ever be. Ji closed her eyes, gathering her strength for what was to come. When she opened them, they glowed with blue energy. For Sue, she said. They landed a kilometer from the facility and approached on foot. The mountainside was steep and rocky, but the path Hana had marked for them avoided the worst areas. Still, it was a difficult climb, made harder by the need for silence and stealth. When they reached the facility's perimeter, Mina used her stealth technology to scout ahead. She returned with bad news. The security is heavier than Mother said. They must have increased it for the battle. There are at least 30 guards at the entrance. Can we find another way in? June asked. Mina shook her head. Not without heavy equipment to cut through the mountain. They were silent, considering their options. None seemed good. I can get us in, Ji said suddenly. How? June asked. I can make them not see us. Like a mental cloak, but she hesitated. It will take all my strength. Once inside, I won't be able to help with the broadcast until I recover. That's too risky, Mina argued. You could burn out your mind completely. It's the only way, Ji insisted. Sue would do it. In the end, they agreed because they had no choice. Ji closed her eyes, concentrating deeply. The air around them seemed to shimmer slightly. We're invisible to them now, she whispered, her voice strained, but only for a few minutes. We need to move. They walked directly toward the facility entrance. Guards looked in their direction but saw nothing. It was the strangest experience of June's life, passing so close to armed enemies who couldn't see him. Once inside, they moved quickly through the corridors. Ji was getting weaker with each step, leaning heavily on Mina. Finally, they reached the main communication room. As soon as they were inside, Ji collapsed, unconscious but still breathing. Mina stayed with her sister while June approached the central console. He inserted Hana's crystal and the system accepted the access codes. I'm in, he called to Mina, but Ji needs to wake up. I don't know how to connect to both networks at once. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Guards could be heard running in the corridors. Someone noticed the system access, Mina said. We're out of time. June worked frantically at the console, trying to understand the Seren technology. He could connect to their fleet easily enough with Hana's codes, but reaching the human ships too seemed impossible without G's abilities. Mina joined him, cradling her unconscious sister in her arms. "Wake up, G," she pleaded. "We need you." The doors to the communication room burst open. Guards poured in, weapons aimed at them. "Stop what you're doing," the lead guard shouted. "Step away from the console." June raised his hand slowly. "Please listen to me. The war between our people is based on a lie. We have proof. Silence, human," the guard ordered. "You and these traitors will be executed for this intrusion." "They are not traitors," said a new voice from the doorway. Matriarch Hana walked into the room, her regal presence causing the guards to lower their weapons slightly. "They are heroes trying to save both our peoples." "Matriarch," the lead guard said, confused. "They have violated our most secure facility. The human is an enemy combatant." "Look at them," Hana commanded. "A human who risked his life to save a Seren. My daughters who fight alongside him not because of duty, but because they believe in peace." Is this not what we should all want? While Hana distracted the guards, June noticed G stirring in Mina's arms. Her eyes fluttered open, glowing faintly. "G." He whispered, "Can you connect the networks? Just for a minute?" She nodded weakly. "Help me up, June," and Mina lifted G to her feet. She placed one hand on the console and reached out with the other, as if grasping something invisible. "Now, June," she gasped. "Send it now."